All right, you're welcome to Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. So much going down as far as the football world is concerned, and of course, it promises to be exciting. And I'm being joined by my ever-interesting panelists in football, talking about Ikechukwu, and of course, I remain your host, Jerry Alpeliohai. The transfer window is buzzing. A lot of talk about players making the move, and definitely we're focusing on that, as well as matters arising as far as the home front is concerned. Ikechukwu, it's great to have you once again on Locker Room.
Good evening, Jerry, and good evening to our viewers. Yes, it's so good to be here. A lot of conversation in the world of sport, particularly in football. And, I was just thinking while I was on the road, thinking about, today's locker room, a lot of interesting takes, especially for Victor Osimhen. After he actually turned down the Al Ahly deal, a lot of persons were expecting him to make that move, but then United and other club in England is actually interested in his services. Just hope that at the end of the day, he's definitely going to find his footing in a top club in Europe, and let's get to enjoy him next season.
All right, I think if I want to talk about Manchester United being linked to Victor Osimhen, that sounds like the funniest, the biggest prank in football world. If it happens, I think that would be the biggest story as far as the transfer window is concerned, because Manchester United, Victor Osimhen, fingers crossed. Okay, let's start from the home front, where the Nigerian Premier Football League has directed all participating clubs to upgrade their home stadiums and essential facilities ahead of the 2025-2026 season. And the league body emphasized the need for clubs to meet minimum facility standards, including installing LED floodlights and reliable backup power sources, or risk forfeiting the right to host home matches. I think having a standard home pitch is something that's inevitable as far as league football is concerned, but these issues continue to be overflowed season in, season out. I remember back in the year 2000, we heard about the standard of pitches. 25 years after, we're still talking about the standard of pitch. For you to have a club side, are you not supposed to know that you're supposed to have standard facility before calling yourself a premium football club side? It's called the Nigerian Premier Football League for crying out loud. Should they now be begging club sides to have a standard pitch, to have beautiful games, so that when you watch them on TV, you can say, yes, this is a standard pitch? Don't they watch the Premier League? Don't they watch the leagues all around the world? Is this supposed like you are telling a student to go to school, but he doesn't have a biro or book? How is he going to even learn?
Well, Jerry, we have to really cut the club side some slack. I know that one thing is certain: every club side owner wants the best of facility in their home ground. Right? Every football club in Nigeria also wants their stadium to be like the Bernabéus, the Old Trafford of this world. But the truth is, where is the money coming from, right? Because you have, clubs that can barely pay salaries, clubs that we know that, they can actually barely take care of their players outside salary, clubs that we know that they don't even have, we were having conversation here with the Ikorodu City guy the other day when we were talking about, their chance if they qualify for Continental, and we heard what he said, that, perhaps they don't want, they hope that it doesn't turn out to be a situation where they will start asking for help from the governor, or going to Bambiala, other sort of very, very funny things that he was actually pulling up the other day. So it tells you that to upgrade a stadium alone, you know how much it's going to really cost, right? And then I see NFS talking about floodlight. It's quite funny. Okay, let's say they all have the ability to install floodlights, LED lights, in their stadiums, right? The big question now is, are they going to play, a game at night? Who will come and watch that game? What is the guarantee that when the fans come, they will go home safe? Have you dealt with the issue of security within the pitch? These are the conversations we should be having before talking about having. I'm not saying they should not have a standard pitch. No, Enyimba actually won the Champions League. They played right there in Aba. Their stadiums were very much up to par at that point, right? So it shows that we have what it takes to actually elevate our stadiums in Nigeria. But the question is, have we taken care of the critical, part of Nigerian League, which is security? We saw what happened in Ibadan. We saw that. Just imagine that was just a game that was played, under sunlight, not at night. Imagine that game was played at night. What would have happened to those people, and even the referee that had to put on police uniform?
They kept them at the stadium till nightfall.
No,
before the
I'm
police
even
came to
saying,
rescue them.
imagine that game was played at night.
Of course, league games in the MPFL has not been played at night for how many seasons now?
So my point exactly. So why are we even having a conversation about LED light at this point? I mean, they can actually put
At
those
least
money.
maybe they want to have a situation when the games is delayed to night.
If the game is delayed, they should cancel
it. If we
it.
can have events at night in Nigeria, I think it should not be difficult having MPFL games played at night as well.
Jerry, event at night is usually not even in a stadium. Most times not in an open ground, and most times
I've gone to events that was held in the stadium at night.
Jerry,
at least if churches can successfully host, at least the national stadium has been abandoned for pitch for football purposes, and it has been being used for church events, and they have a lot of lights and so on and so forth to light the stadium to hold church events.
Jerry,
why should football games
Jerry, it's even good you mentioned
yes.
church events.
Yes.
Now people coming there are actually coming there with this attitude of sober reflection. They're in a mood to actually be peaceful. Football is a game of emotion. You know how people can.
Football should also be a peaceful sport.
Even in church events, adequate security. People who are planning events in stadiums, they actually bring in adequate security. They know it's a church event too, but they bring in security. But football.
So why should football look like as if it's something that is difficult?
It's an emotional game. It's an emotional game, and it's expected that there should be private security. I mean, how many of our clubs can actually afford private security in their stadiums to come put things in place, and then perhaps liaise with Nigerian police officers to actually whatever, if at the end of the day they made an arrest, and then they can hand over. Because if you check other leagues across Europe, you see private securities in the stadium. You see 1 or 2 policemen who will be there to actually take charge of the situation when someone is being arrested. This is the standard practice across the world. You've not dealt with this issue of security. Your players cannot even travel safely from here to other states via road. These are the questions. These are the things that will bring. Because see, it's not about how improved your infrastructure is that will bring in investors. No. Yes, that's also a contributing factor, but that comes very much later. The smallest part of what will improve the facility, the league, is security, because that's what will bring in investors. If they know that whatever happens, I can actually get back my funds, then they can. Because if security is certain, then investors will come knowing that their assets are secured. And of course, insurance too will also come into playing a huge part of it. So Jerry, forget about this. At this point, I think what we should be focusing on is improving the league, improving security, and even if all our games will be played during daytime for a while, until we get to that level where we can now say, okay, the stadiums is at this point, all our stadiums, all our games, we don't have this sort of nasty violence. Okay, what happened in Ibadan? This is how many months after? Have we heard the report of that particular incident? These are the things. I mean, other parts of the world, when incidents happen like this, within a week or two, you start hearing reports on how it has been handled. But here, it's not like that. And then you're telling me to actually come and play at night. Even the players are not even safe. Talk more of the fans who will definitely be going home on their own.
Forget about the night issues, LED light, because it seems like you are paranoid over the LED light.
Yeah, because it's quite funny.
But apart from LED lights being one of the criteria being asked for, what about the state of the pitch? I've gone to MPFL games and I see that the ball cannot even move from one place to the other without being distorted. The ball cannot even have free flow. The players cannot walk, cannot run down, let me say, just a little distance without being uncomfortable. And definitely have played football, little of it. If you are running with the ball and the pitch is slopey, there's a way it affects your rhythm. Even your pace, your body structure, you find out after the game you are injured. You're already having pains because the pitch is not at a good level. And we have a lot of pitches. AstroTurf pitch is not even favorable for a lot of players because your boots will be cranky, your free flow. And when you are not having free flow, you see a lot of players, they are injured. And that's why you see when our NPFL players go to play international games, they find it difficult because they are used to the topsy-turvy nature of the pitches. That is why a lot of people are asking that our NPFL players should be persecuting qualifiers because it's a standard in Africa that we cannot, although it's a course, we cannot have good pitches. But in the NPFL, if we want to really have a league, people should say that we'll be proud of. The standard is have a good pitch. Then a good pitch, we can go to floodlights and so on and so forth. But now we are just like in a situation where we are just living in denial, living in fool's paradise, believing that we have a league that can compete. We don't have as little as good pitches
Jerry,
in the NPFL.
Very good. The thing is, first we should first also acknowledge that we have a maintenance problem, right? Our maintenance culture is very, very poor. I mean, I remember when Fashola was the governor of Lagos. At some point, you see trees being planted, virtually everywhere in Lagos, and we're hoping that, say about 7 or 6 years after he's left office, we want to see these trees, big. But today, go to all those areas, many of these, aside the parks, right, that was created during that era, you barely find these trees, right? This is one of the major problems we have. And then let's talk about the league, because of course, the league is still very much in the grasp of the government. So, and of course, anything that's being run by the government, most time people take it with levity. You don't see any sort of improvement in it. And now you talk about the standard of the pitch. The problem is this: you've not paid the players very well. You've not taken good care of the players, and then you are looking at people who maintain the pitch. You know how much it costs to maintain a pitch. Right, and go to Europe. These guys do steady maintenance at least twice a week, so it should be consistent. But we don't have those things. Many of these stadiums in Europe, they have this water tabs that come. This tab that comes from underneath the pitch to actually wet the. We don't have those sort of facilities here. I mean, football has really gone tech. It's really gone way beyond what to actually how we handle it. Now the question is, club sides that if a Nigerian football club side, the NPFL club side brings their book, say okay, this is what their earning is. It is not even enough to maintain the pitch alone. Talk more of paying the players. But it's not like that in Europe. So tell me, how are they supposed to do that when they solely rely on the government to actually do that, do it for them? So that's the problem. So you don't see, as far as these are the conversations we should even be having. That okay, let's find a way to have a very good pitch. And then the question of investments will come in, because it is the money that is going to be coming via investment that the club side will share to actually improve their facilities. I mean, in England, right, and other part of the world. Apart from the jersey that these guys sell, they sell other things as little as toy, face cap, and hoodies for people. They generate revenue via so many means. But in Nigeria, it's actually not like that. We don't have that huge market. People, we've not really seen our league as a huge market where we can actually bring in or tap or create various streams of income for people to actually earn, and then of course help them make more money. So we don't have that our marketing as regards our league is very, very poor. So if we want to start looking at how to upgrade league, we have to actually look at the marketing aspect of our league. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we have 0 to nothing. No club in Nigeria today have a very good marketing team to actually market the. And the truth is, an average Nigerian is very, very passionate about the league, the club side from their home front. If you do a very good designers, a very good hoodie or sneakers or face cap, a lot of Nigerians will definitely want to buy something that they can actually relate with as regards their origin or their tribe. That's exactly how it is across the world. That's exactly why club side really. That's what we've always been advocating for. Our league to actually be 100% independent, because if the government hands off, private investors come in, and then we can have this conversation of how can actually we be able to improve on the quality of our pitch and other part of the infrastructure in the stadium. But until that happens, Jerry, we'll continue beating around the bush, we'll continue flogging a dead horse, and there's no response for anyone who's actually flogging a dead horse.
All right, it is what it is, and I think we'll have to recommend Ikechukwu as the marketing officer for the NPFL. Maybe you have a good sales speech to convince anyone to invest in creating, getting good pitches. I think there's even the FIFA Go project. There's something FIFA does in terms of helping development of football all around the world. And the NPFL should be benefiting from such as well. And we know that FIFA, some way, somehow, try to support the football bodies like the NFF. What happens to those money? Yeah, at some point in time, you heard they built one AstroTurf pitch in one community, and the maintenance will be a story for another day. And of course, we see the NFF somehow find a way to pocket all of this money, and at the end of the day, the NPFL is left to fend for itself. But it's a story for another day, but we all know what is obtainable. But let's talk about the NFF, where the Nigerian Football Federation has approved the Samuel Okwaraji Secondary School Soccer Championship, an annual initiative by the Samuel Okwaraji Foundation. The championship aims to develop football in Nigeria and honor the late Green Eagles legend who died during a World Cup qualifier in 1989. And the NFF praised the foundation's vision for contributing to grassroots football growth and appealed to organizers to adhere to FIFA rules during the competition. The championship is expected to positively impact participating youth and Nigerian football as a whole. Let's not give the NFF kudos, because this is a private initiative which it has now gotten the endorsement of the NFF, of which the NFF will not be spending a kobo. They will just get the endorsements filled, and they may want to take the glory. Samuel Okwaraji died since 1989. There have been a lot of calls to immortalize him. He died serving this country. And unfortunately, heroes past are not well recognized. And Samuel Okwaraji is one of those. But I think this is a good initiative from the private individuals. I don't want to give the NFF the kudos for this. And it's not left for the NFF to take this as an advantage to immortalize the man and give this championship or this initiative all the necessary backing, not lip service, not endorsement alone and go and sit down somewhere. They should be involved financially and be committed, so that we will know that when somebody else falls victim of such situation, you will know that when he's no longer around, they'll be remembered.
I mean, Sam Okwaraji is, a case study. He's supposed to be someone who look back and say, because he died, our league improved from 0 to 80. Right. This is exactly how things is done where in a society where people think. Sam Okwaraji died as a result of inadequate facility, healthcare facility in the stadium. The first aid was quite poor. You can say, okay, it was very much in '89, so we can actually cut them some slack. But what happened to Chinemerem, I think the Nasarawa United player who actually slumped on the field? The same incident I think it was 2021 or 2022. The same incident that happened. This guy, no adequate facility. In fact, it was said that some persons took sachet water to, they were pouring the sachet water on him. There was no ambulance in the stadium, and this guy died. So if Samuel Okwaraji died as long as '89, it is expected that all stadiums should be mandated. And these are the things I'll be expecting the NPFL board to be saying. That all stadiums should be mandated to have first responder. That in the case of a player slump or whatever, that person should be at least stable and taken to the hospital. That should be a standard. Because footballers are the biggest assets in the game. So you have to protect your biggest assets. Now, if we lose a player like Samuel Okwaraji as at 89, and then very much in 2000, in 2021 or 22, then we are losing somebody again through the same means. It means that we've not learned anything. And then there's a private group that are actually trying to actually do something for him, and then the NFF is jumping on it. I'm expecting the NFF to also make this a call that, okay, because of this incident that killed this man, this part of first responders should be very much should be a key factor in this particular, not just play football. It's just like saying somebody actually was trying to cross the road and he got knocked by a car, and then to immortalize the person, you decide to actually start a racing competition instead of build make it easy for people to actually cross the road. This is exactly what they are doing, and it's so sad that we tend to actually look we tend to actually look at situations from a very terrible angle, because I mean, as far as I know that what's it called, this They say
Oh, you're forgotten. You're trying to bring yourself back.
Nigeria.
Anyway, I understand the situation. We've had various calls that our heroes should be remembered. And remember, just recently, Chairman himself, talking about Christian Chukwu, also passed on. And we've had various players who did not die on the pitch, definitely, but lived their life, gave so much, and when they are at their old age, they get forgotten. Some of them get bedridden. Some will even start asking for support from their fellow ex-internationals. Some will even be asking the public for help. And anyway, Okwaraji, we remember he was even based abroad. And then he came back home.
A very young man, just very much around 22 or thereabout.
I think I even heard he was well read.
Very well read at the point. I mean, it's so sad that.
They even said he was an engineer. I can't remember right now, that he studied to university level.
The thing is that.
Was doing well for himself.
The thing is that, in this part of the world, right? I mean, as far as I know, it is said that innovation, right? Necessity is the mother of, invention. And it's obvious that every single time we have an incident that should be an inspiration to bring about innovation in Nigeria, people at the helm of affairs actually take it for granted. They don't actually do anything inspiring with it. It feels so sad, right? I mean, remembering this guy, and then of course this young man actually died a couple of few years back again in the same circumstance. It's so sad. And Jerry.
Anyway, take heart, keep it cool. All right, let's talk about Maduka Okoye. The UDNA public prosecutor offices say Nigerian international goalkeeper Maduka Okoye will face trial for his role in the conspiracy to defraud a bookmaker owing to irregular betting patterns in the game between Lazio and Udinese in the 2023-2024 Serie A season. Already a notice of conclusion of preliminary investigations has been served to Okoye and the 4 people involved in the scandal in relation to the game played on the 11th of March 2024. And the investigation was conducted by the state police through the central unit of the Gaming and Betting Police of the Central Operational Service, the mobile squad of the UDNA police headquarters, and the Cisco of Tri-State. Of course, it was done in relation to the recording of unusual betting flows on the Lazio Udinese match, particularly concentrated on the occurrence of a yellow card for Okoye, which was quoted by betting agencies at least 8 times the stake. And in particular, bets were recorded that led to winnings of more than 120,000 euros, mostly from bets placed on fixed locations in the province of Udine. He should have known better. If actually he's found guilty, he should know better. And of course, it will not be good for his football career if he's found wanting. That sent Tonali out of the Italian Serie A. He had to run to England to avoid not playing football for a long while. And of course, he's a Nigerian, he should not forget. And it's going to be difficult for him if he's found wanting.
It's so sad. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's any reason a professional footballer should be indulged in any sort of betting.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
You just double your money now.
See,
you get rich quick.
Jerry, as far as I'm concerned, you don't even have any reason to actually be part of it.
You can just put your 2 weeks' wages. You give yourself.
Because even if you must bet, let's say you are betting, for a team.
It's against the rules. It's to make you biased.
For a team that is not even in your country, even if you must bet. But for me, if I were a professional footballer, this is what I would do. I would just stay completely out of it. Completely out of it. Like, completely, because it doesn't come. What exactly are you looking for? You know the rules. You know if something happens, you're going to be in trouble. See, it's as bad as if Maduka Okoye's brother, is a very good. Is very good with this games and tips. He's a tipster, yeah. And then he decides to actually bet in Maduka Okoye's game without his knowledge. And it happens that
a crime.
Yes, and it happens that he succeeded in
a crime.
it's going to be a very big issue on Madukoko. So why this is just not you now, somebody related to you, and then we're having a conversation on you. I mean, it's so unfortunate. I just hope that whatever the incident is, even if it's going to be found wanting, the penalty should be very light, because this guy is quite very young. And someone who I know, I want to believe that he's really got that talent to actually push, Salim Bali really happy. Because if we have two goalkeepers, they're definitely going to be pushing themselves and will get the best, out of the both of them. But I mean, so sad. This young man, every single time he's trying to find his footing in the Super Eagles, there seems to be something that is going to be, pulling him back. And it's so sad that we're having this conversation about him.
Yeah, and of course, maybe you should follow Maiwa to Irabiji for some cleansing. Anyway, Joseph Akpala is in the news. A former Nigerian international forward has been appointed as assistant coach to Nicky Hayem at Club Brugge, a Belgian league outfit. Akpala, who is 38, has 9 senior caps for Nigeria and played for Club Brugge from 2008 to 2012, scoring 39 goals in 105 games. And of course, he played so many years for Club Brugge, and of course, returning as an assistant in a place he knows his way around. I think it's a good one for Joseph Akpala, and congratulations to the man.
True. Couple of months ago, we were having a conversation about Nigerian coaches. You want to be the best in the world. You want to handle a team that is arguably one of the best in Africa. You have to actually push yourself. I mean, we've seen top managers in the world. How do you get to that level where you be respected? You want to see a Nigerian league, a coach of Nigerian origin handling teams in Europe. I mean, this is a very right step in the right direction for Akpala. Club Brugge is a very big team in Belgium, right? I mean, this is exactly what we are expecting. So if he can actually start from here, then obviously, certainly, maybe 2-3 years down the line, he can actually join the backroom staff of one of the top clubs in Europe. And who knows, maybe 4-5 years before he turns 50, he might actually be handling the first team in top.
Pretty young, 38.
He might definitely be handling the top team in Europe. That's exactly the line. I was expecting many of our coaches, the likes of Ogumodede at this point, you've won the league. This is the time for you to actually take the next step. I was expecting Finidi George. I mean, you have a very strong, European connection. You play for Real Betis, you play for Ajax, you've won the Nigerian league. It's time for you to actually step up. If you want
to the competition.
These are the things, right? If you want to actually step up, you want to actually handle top teams, you want to handle the Super Eagles and then give us the best of the result, go there and compete with the best of coaches in Europe. And this is a very fantastic thing. I mean, when was the last time we have, a Nigerian coach at this level?
Yeah, I think the one we had last was Michael
Emenalo. Of course, he is more of a director of football now, not even a coach.
He's the man behind the Saudi League's progress.
Of course. So these are the kind of people that I'm even expecting to come into the Nigerian league and then handle the league.
Unfortunately.
But of course, when it comes, the first question he will be asking is, how are we going to secure the league? I mean, the league is not secure. So I mean, it's all about the money is the name of the game.
Yeah.
If there's no money, characters like that will not come in. But
the
again,
money that took him to Saudi League. They understand his potential.
Exactly.
And they know that they can invest in whatever project he brings on board. And look at the Saudi League. He's the talk of the world.
Absolutely. And it goes back to saying, people who have actually played the game understand the emotion of the game. They understand what the game needs. They understand, how to actually handle critical assets. They also understand, that, yes, if you must move from this point to this point, these are the, practical steps to actually go about it. And I'm very, when I saw this Akpala's story, I was very, very impressed, because I want to see more Nigerian coaches. Like Osiasia should not even be here again. You've done a whole lot. You went to Olympic final, you went to Under-20 final. I mean, people who, the likes of Arteta were not even managers at a point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why are you sitting hoping that you just wait for
just be local champions.
Just go out there and then, get even if it's just behind top managers, be in the backroom staff. Do you know what is going to add to your CV? That you are maybe one of the assistants of Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola or Luis Enrique. I mean, in 2-3 seasons, it's going to tell a lot about your person, because a lot of persons will be able to trust you. It's all about what it means. But then these guys don't even get to understand that, at this point, for our football to actually be elevated, they also need to be elevated. And they cannot actually get it here. Like they say, iron sharpeneth iron.
All right, it's quite a difficult situation if you want to look at it. And definitely we'll get to get updated as far as that one is concerned. But let's talk about Victor Osimhen, the man of the moment. And we hear that Manchester United, that is for Manchester United fans, they believe that the club side is interested in Victor Osimhen. And of course, we all know that Manchester United has reported Victor Osimhen's childhood dream. I think I heard it was a Chelsea fan. I don't know about the Manchester United the story.
Yeah, every child loves United, don't worry.
Not every child. Please don't say all that here. Anyway, the Nigerian international's future is uncertain after his successful loan spell at Galatasaray, where he scored 40 goals and provided 6 assists in the 2024-2025 campaign. Osimhen is unlikely to return to Napoli and has seemingly ruled out a move to Saudi Arabia. And according to reports, Osimhen came close to joining Chelsea last year, but they are no longer in the mix after signing Liam Delap. And the Manchester United could be a good fit for Osimhen. I don't know whether that's true, because that doesn't sound right, but it is what it is. Osimhen to Manchester United sounds like a prank to me.
It will only remain...
He's been eyed by Manchester United. It's still a prank to me. Yeah.
It will always remain a prank to you.
Yeah, because I don't see that happening.
Well, like
I don't see that happening.
It will always remain a prank to you.
Because there's nothing attractive about United's project right now.
People see what they want to see.
Yeah.
People hear what they want to hear. To you, it's a prank.
It's not about hearing what you want to hear.
It's a prank.
In your own mind, if you are Victor Osimhen, will Manchester United be even your plans?
The biggest brand in English football, you say it's not.
What's the biggest brand? I'll get them before. Which brand? What's brand about Manchester
King of
United?
Comeback.
I don't, see, I think you should go and join the comedy show.
Please. Stop saying it. See, United is actually rebuilding at this point. I would have loved. I mean, if Galatasaray have a project, if they have plans of bringing.
Okay, you should bring up Galatasaray.
If they have plans.
Now that sounds alright.
No, wait. If they have plans of bringing top players to. Help Osimhen in his quest to Europe, because he wants to play Champions League football.
That's staying at Galatasaray.
If they have plans, but if they don't have plans,
their plan looks more.
If they don't have plans to bring,
their plans look more realistic.
If they don't have plans, no, how will you say that?
Yes, their plans look more realistic.
The quality of
United, the only plan for next season for them should be let's not fight relegation. Yes, because winning league is out of it. Making top 4.
Why would you say winning league is out of it?
Which league? Is it winning league for the back from the relegation?
If United signs Osimhen and bring in three or 4 players and the team will be settled.
Which 4?
Yes, now.
You need 11 players, 11 and a coach. You don't have a coach, Amori.
Jerry, leave that thing.
Amori is not a coach, Don't go and whine yourself.
He's a farmer.
He's only fit for Portuguese league, not for EPL. Maybe NPFL.
He's only fit for Portuguese league.
Yes.
So and the slot is not only fit for Dutch league.
And the slot was an experiment that worked. This experiment has failed already. It has not even have no future.
See, the difference between them is Jurgen Klopp left a stable team.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Okay. Yes. Ten left what?
United team is not stable. Now I will say.
Come on, at least they were still
Guy,
talk about comeback according to you.
Please.
But now
we saw the comeback now.
No coming again. No
in the Europa League, we didn't see
something like coming.
Didn't see it against Lyon.
Anyway, I wish you all the best. Anyway, since you are still deceiving Man United, it's good. I like this denial. I think we will continue to keep them in that position until they are playing the championship.
Which position?
Anyway, that's how we wrap it up on the show this afternoon. The big ties to the guys who made the show great. Would have loved to go on and on, but time is really fast spent. Of course, congratulations to the Bellinghams. The second Bellingham moves to Dortmund as well. That's more like an interesting news to me, but it is what it is. Big thanks to the likes of Shogun, not leaving out Ikechukwu. It's been awesome having you with us on Locker Room. And of course, big thanks to the likes of Ikechukwu as well as Jeremiah and Sam. My name is Jerry Apelohai. Up next is Political Lens with Chukwuma Okoro. Stay safe.